So, what was it that you thought was a huge loss to the entertainment factor of the show?
Losing like your biggest personality on the show is going to be such a dagger every time. And we've seen this in the past. It is sometimes the seasons can have a lull when some of these like tier 1 challengers go out in the first in the first half of the season. And so to really be responsible of, I mean, we have a lot of big personalities here, but it's just, we kind of see how season 39 was treated and looked at from a lot of fan perspective of not having a lot of longtime vets. And even the people we had that had been there for a couple of seasons, like Jay or Michelle, wasn't enough for people to like, be like, no, we're good. Like it still kind of dragged it down. So I'm hoping that we can clean this up a little bit. And because ideally, I think it's good if new threats win the whole thing. Good on them. That's cool. But I want them to beat vets like in the final elimination or like in the final itself, just to kind of, it can still be entertaining because that's the thing that these new cats don't have.
I would still count this as a vet, as a rookie beating a vet. He lost to them in elimination. It was rookies who threw him in. All's fair in love and war in the challenges. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring it in. You ready to kick it off?
Bring it in.
What's really good, Posters? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. What's really good? The first thing I want to kick this off with is let's start with selections. All right. So all of the teams at the beginning of the episode was selected, and it's Ben and Michaela, Cedric and Cara, CT and Adrienne, Derek and Izzy, Derek and Dee, Jake and Nani, Johnny and Lika, Justin and Vive, Leo and Ashley, Leroy and Tay, Theo and America, Turo and Sydney, Will and Anissa, Jeremy and Olivia. Does it look like I just rattled that like off the top of my head, or did it look like I was reading it?
A little bit of both, you know.
A little bit of both. All right. From the top of your head, which one of these teams you think best complement each other, or which ones you're excited for?
I mean, when I got the selections right away, I was excited to see. I was kind of nervous for, but I was excited to see the personality with CT and Adrienne, just to kind of see how well they commit because they're big personalities and everything. And I was excited to see that. I instantly kind of look at in this season, I kind of look at, do we have like a powerhouse and like somebody that will work really hard? And that's where like Michaela and Ben kind of came in, where I don't think Michaela still gets credit for being good at this game yet.
She doesn't.
But she is good at this game. She's good at these competitions. And Ben just looks like a soldier. Like if you need somebody to do something, he's going to do it. And that he's not going to try and take over and everything. And then and then if you look at teams that probably should do well, just based on matchups, for me, I'm going to say, I don't even know. Who did I have? I had Turbo and Sydney. Just look like, they're probably the most well-rounded to do anything.
So 2 teams really caught my eye when I was looking at this. The first one was being Jeremy and Olivia. Jeremy started off really, really tight. Olivia has been doing great throughout the whole entire game. The other one was Cara Maria and Cedric. I've come to really like Cedric's personality. I think it's been growing with every episode so far. Really waiting to see till we get more out of him. Plus, Cara hasn't really been doing much at all this season. It's been like she's very unserious this season. And I think with a personality like Cedric, might be able to come out a little bit more. Moving on in the A block, not a lot goes on, but we do see Gabe starting to feel the heat. The house has come down on him. He's kind of feels like he's going to be the vote. Cara says he should just really own this moment and like step up and go into elimination. Good idea or bad idea?
I mean, I get where she's coming from. Of just like, maybe just prove yourself to everybody. Use it as like a favor of like, hey, you don't have to get any blood on your hands. I will go in. I will take out whoever gets last place. And that way we're cool. And when I do that, I would like to work with you because I'm not telling them. I'm letting them get blood on their hands just in case. But for you, I'm not. And that's a way to use it. Second thought, you never go into elimination. The goal is
No.
not to like if you want to be known forever and you want to be legendary in this game and you want fans to like you, you go in a lot and you win a lot. However, going in means you could lose and then you go home and then you're forgotten.
Yeah, I think for somebody like Gabe, the risk versus reward factor isn't really there. Yeah, the house is kind of mad at him. Yeah, he's probably going to get voted in anyway. Why make it easy for them? Let them all get blood in their hands.
Yeah.
So when you come back and you got to attack everybody, you got a reason. Now, guess what? You have a reason to throw everybody in. And if you ever find yourself on top, you get to pick which alliance you want to stay at and where you want to go.
Exactly.
Because everybody has said your name at this point. So I don't know what Cara's talking about there. I get the sentiment. Oh, just go in, prove yourself, take it on the chin, da-da-da. That is very honorable. And guess what? That really doesn't have that big of a place here in the challenge. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the daily. Today's daily is called a maze. There's 120 containers all spread out in the maze. In the maze are several different puzzles, which we soon come find out are Sudoku puzzles. It's going to be played in 2 17 heats. The challengers have to they have to solve it as fast as they can. Easy puzzles are far away. The closer ones are hard. 45-minute time limit, time event. The team with the most incorrect ones will lose or they DQ. Let's talk about this daily.
Let's talk about how everybody freaks out about going, oh, I'm not good at math. This is not math.
Sudoku isn't math.
The only part of math that it is you being able to count 9 fingers.
And recognizing the number. That's it.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's patterns.
I actually have to credit the challenge. The challenge got me into Sudoku. I have the Sudoku app, and I end up paying for it because I got tired of looking at ads, and I play it all the time now. But also, going into the challenge, not knowing Sudoku at all, that's nobody's fault but your own. Nobody's fault but your own.
I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to. I have no arm muscles or anything like that. I can't run. I can't do puzzles. Why are you here? Could you imagine? 100%. Could you imagine somebody showing up on like, I don't even know, like Master Chef, and then Gordon Ramsay's like, today we're gonna do this, and he's just like, what's that? Like I don't even. What do you mean? What's
a freaking ladle?
Like,
absolutely ridiculous. I didn't love this challenge. Also, I think it ran for way too long. I was noticing that this episode is going to go 90 minutes, and I'm just like, why? We had nothing in the A block besides, Gabe sweating bullets and catching people working out. And now we get, just overexposed to this daily, which wasn't that great.
The problem is that everybody wants, they wanted a longer season. You know what I mean? Like they wanted, 90-minute episodes. People have been pushing for this. The problem is that when it's every season is kind of like this going forward, they're going to have moments where they're drags and you're like last week, why did we have 90 minutes if there was not even an elimination? Why did we not see the whole thing of the daily? Why didn't we get to see more drama? And then we're here and now it's like, okay, we get an elimination, but yeah, it kind of feels a little drawn out. I feel like they should just do anniversary seasons should be the longer. So like 40 made sense to be 90 minutes. Whether or not you love the season 40 Battle of the Eras, it gave us more time with the contestants that we like to see. Plain and simple. Even if they went out early. Now we got a bunch of new threats that are not as memorable so far. Not yet. They're rookies. And so it's hard to watch them over and over for this 90 minutes.
When it comes to the 90-minute episodes, I like the 90-minute episodes. I just don't think every episode has to be 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If the situation calls, sure, 90 minutes is fine. If it doesn't, keep it at 60 and call it a day. Having 90-minute episodes and missing out on key drama that the cast is talking about makes you guys look bad. Everybody's talking about, America got drunk one night and was trying to hook up with everybody, made out with multiple people, males and females. We would have loved to see that, especially for somebody like America who hasn't gotten a whole bunch of screen time.
Right, especially if we can create some drama or create some storylines or just add a layer to, okay, now I see why they voted for them because You know, like honestly, if like Will just had a crash out, but he didn't talk about his previous history with D, you're just kind of like, okay, this is weird. Like, this doesn't make any sense. There's no context to it. And if eventually maybe somebody would be like, I thought you and I were tight. We make out every night at the club, America. And it's like, oh yeah, sorry, that's just, like, we'd be like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you do that? Like, you guys aren't tight at all. We don't ever see you guys talking. No, yeah, and I think MTV can't even be like, well, how are we going to fill that slot? They'll just add another ridiculous show. Like, it's not that hard. If you cut it down 30 minutes, just play another ridiculousness.
So, Bananas and Lika are going to lose. Ben and Michaela gets the win. But let's talk about this Bananas loss. Bananas has been doing this for too long. Bananas had something so similar just happened to him in the finals, and it kept him from getting his 8th championship, where he made a mistake and decided to start over. He did the same thing with this puzzle, totally unaware of the time, totally unaware of how much time he had left in his place in the game, wipes the whole board clean, loses easily. Probably would have had a much better chance if he just didn't clear the board. This was a perfect example of doing nothing would have been better than doing too much. And Bananas is way too smart, way too experienced of a player to be doing this.
The problem, here's the thing though, is that either A, the teams didn't know what the time limit was. You know, like that's a real thing too. Like they didn't know. I mean, because like if he was sitting there and he's like, I feel like we've been doing this for almost an hour. In your mind, you're like, don't clear the board then. Because you know in 45 minutes you're getting skinned. But if they don't know when that timer is going off, then I get it a little bit more. Because Cara took down their board probably really early, and then they got it back going, you know? But yeah, it is a crazy thing that, I mean, I understand that he took down his board. I almost wish that they could have like, remember when we had that elimination with Horacio and Derek, and Derek's pieces came out of the board and they were like, well, he already put them there, so it was already okay. Like right. He didn't have to re-put them there because he already did it. Okay, well, if Bananas already had some correct answers, like you kind of see where they like choose everything. And I'm surprised that they didn't just, as soon as he went to go take it down, they blew the horn. Like they should have just done that production wise. I know you don't want to rig a game or anything, but like you don't want to lose your star player in the first quarter of the Super Bowl because then the rest of the game's going to be almost unwatchable at times. That's, you know, so the strategy wasn't bad. He just didn't have a sense of awareness on how long he had left.
Yeah, that's definitely going to cost him. But he wasn't the only team that disqueued. Cedric and Cara Maria, Jake and Nani, Johnny and Lika, Theo and America also DQ'd. And I was really surprised at this. Cara Maria, supposed to know puzzles, supposed to be a little bit better. Nani is incredibly experienced. Theo and America, all right, fine. We really don't know a whole bunch of what America brings to the table, but Theo, you've been doing this for a little bit. I really dislike the slide and Theo's ability to perform lately, but we'll get more into that later.
If Bananas didn't take down his board, I think Theo and America would have went in. But also,
I agree with you.
If you're watching that, it's got to be frustrating. There's so many times I watch somebody and they were sitting there arguing about everything on the board. And I saw a couple times it's like, maybe we put 9 right here in the middle. And then you look one block over to the left and there's a 9 right in the middle. And I was just like, I'm sitting there and I'm just like yelling numbers like they can hear me and everything. And it's, I think Sudoku looks scarier than it is.
100%. Once you understand Sudoku, it's definitely not nearly as scary. But moving on to club night, the rookies are reveling in the fact that they got Bananas to go in. Some people felt like the rookies didn't really have a right to celebrate this. I'm not in that camp. I think the rookies 100% should be celebrating this. This is a win for them. This is exactly what they wanted. Everything is falling into place. Only thing I didn't like is all of the other teams who's been kind of on the peripheral and playing defense and been kind of in the middle, they all flock over to Olivia's side to celebrate.
I mean, I would. It's like be seen, not heard. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, every time we're talking about this alliance thing, like Tyler's always right there in the corner. He's always listening and everything, and he's always agreeing, and he give like a little bit. He's not trying to dictate anything. Okay, maybe I could trust him. Like he hasn't taken my plans. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. It's like just be by the queen right now, because that's what Olivia is like right now on this show.
Really, she is.
I mean, if you think she's leading in points, she's leading in screen time, she's going up against, she has a rival in the show. Most people don't. They're just kind of doing what Olivia is doing. I will say that there is a lack of foresight for Olivia, because the more vets you get out, eventually the rookies are going to go, let's just get all the vets out. And Olivia, you're in that camp. Theo's in that camp. It should, in my opinion, it should have been you take down Banana's legs first, his number one, number twos. Then once they're gone, you get a couple rookies out, and then you get him out. And then you get him out. Like, make sure you still have numbers eventually. Because if, let's just say this goes how I think it's going to go, the main target is out. Who's the next main target then? Olivia, you're controlling the whole game. You're making everybody go in. You have everybody on a leash. You've got the most points. That could be a switch, and she becomes a target just naturally.
100%. I would love to see if she's able to hold on to power throughout the rest of the game, especially with Bananas being gone. Who's going to be your target now? Of course, you start taking out anybody else aligned with him. That's going to be your Leroy, your 90s, your Avives, maybe even Derek K. But real interested to see how she's going to play it. Only other thing that happened at Club Night, Team UK was kind of worried for Theo, but I think they kind of understand that they don't have the votes. And right now, Gabe is a much more safer, easier vote to get. But let's talk about Michaela and the way she plays the game. I think she set it up perfectly. She got in her little corner, started calling people in. Hey, tell me what you're thinking. And she's trying to see if she can exchange these votes for power. I don't think... oh man, what was the partner's name? Ben. I don't think Ben was 100% really on board. I don't think he liked the whole setup that she had going on. I thought it was perfect. This is exactly how you end up playing the game.
Yeah.
And also we got a scene from Cedric. Cedric has slowly been becoming somebody who I really like. I think he's funny. I think he gets what he's doing here. I think he understands the camera and and trying to get good camera time. I also like the fact that he makes sure he didn't give up too much information, knowing that it could bite him in the ass later on. The best thing about it is, right before we get to the nomination, after all of this politicking, Michaela understands that right now the best move to make is no move. Keep your hands clean, go with the crowd, because any power move you pull right now probably won't be successful, and then you're going to become a main target. What did you think of the way Michaela played this?
I mean, she played it as the best way she can. I understand Derek's upset, but that his name got used. I guess we'll talk about that here in a second. But I mean, it makes sense if you don't throw a big name in. Like if she would have, like she was mad at Olivia. If she would have thrown Olivia in, attention from Olivia also goes back to her. When you know Gabe is going in, when you know for a fact he's going in, everybody wants him in, he's going to get voted in. This is the 1 week you don't want power. And so you got to do what you can with it. And burn votes are risky, especially because you have no idea. However, Derek is very protected. 100%.
Yes, I agree. Derek was an easy choice to make. Go up to him in the beginning. Hey, you're going to be protected. Nobody's going to vote your way, but we got to burn it on somebody. It might as well be you, because we can assure that you're going to come back and don't take it personally. I think he played it up, and nobody likes their name mentioned, but he is super protected. This was a good burn vote, because almost anybody else is going to have a much higher level of risk. I think they played it as well as they could have played it. There just wasn't a lot of moves to make. It was just a bad week to have power.
No, and her only move, honestly, was to who is closest to Olivia, because that alliance is tight right now, and they've got a good numbers. And if you put in somebody from her group that isn't her directly, then you're not really, taking a jab at her, but you know that the votes aren't even going to be, if something went haywire, the votes aren't going to be there to put them in.
100%. The risk versus reward just wasn't even there. Now, moving on to the elimination.
Yeah.
Gabe went in. It's an easy vote. Unanimous. I mean, do you know how bad you got to fuck up to get a unanimous vote? Everybody said you had to go in.
Yeah. And it wasn't even him saying like, yeah, I feel like I should go in or anything like that. That had nothing to do with anything. Like, yeah. But here's something that I was trying to see. I wish he would tell me how old he is. I was trying to find out how old he is, but it's like,
he's not the oldest. He's like 25, 26.
This elimination is somebody in their physical prime going up against somebody in their 40s. Like, he dominated. He did great. But before we get into that aspect of it, just talk to me about what you thought about this hold 'em back elimination. And not just that, but some of the castmates were talking about it, that all these eliminations have felt really dark. Do you like the scenery and the feel for eliminations like this? And the fact that nobody, I don't know if they were told by production, but nobody was allowed to help and talk in this elimination.
So, good and bad. I do like the setting. I like the dark. I like the fire. They're not doing too much with the explosions. We've seen some more high-tech stuff. I'm okay with the dark setting. It's not a huge departure from what they've been doing. So I'm okay with that.
Right.
The crowd, the peanut gallery being silent, in an elimination like this, I think that's fine. I think in an elimination where the crowd can affect the outcome, I'm okay with that. Rooting people on, or, rooting people on, yelling, and like that stuff is fine. Even helping them out in some course, I think is okay in some eliminations, not really others. I remember there was one with when it was Dee versus Ashley. And the whole crowd was yelling this stuff, and they were kind of helping them out. I'm actually okay with that. But this one, it would have too big of an effect. So I'm okay with them silencing the peanut gallery. But this elimination, I thought was actually pretty good, pretty dope. It was physical, but nobody's really going to get hurt. It took a lot of stamina. I liked it. And it was offensive defense. It got a little break. I loved it. I thought Bananas did as well as he was going to do. But yeah, the advantage just wasn't on his side today.
Do you think it would have mattered if they would have swapped who went first or second? Like, do you think like if Bananas went second, he would have, I don't know. I mean, I guess then again, Gabe would have been more fresh to run, but he would have been more tired to pull. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, probably not. The biggest thing is the speed that Gabe was able to win this was the biggest determining factor.
I mean, he almost had 2 straight runs without any opposition. He really it was one time that he was kind of pulled back. And there was a size disparity there. I mean, Gabe not only is a couple inches taller than Bananas, it looked like 4 or 5 inches, but he probably has an extra like 40, 50 pounds of muscle on him too.
Probably more. He's built like a shit brick house. He's huge. He is a monster. And also, I also think that people are probably going to think twice about saying his name again, unless he has another big slip up. I think people are more going to try to get him on his side. I think he has to perform better in the dailies. This, the challenge is always going to be better for the people who do better in the dailies. Yeah. But you got to be able to win eliminations. And now that they know that he can go in there and win an elimination and come back, most likely not going to say the name. But I really like the daily. I mean, I'm sorry. I really like the elimination. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great to look at, and I thought it was very high stakes.
Yeah, I mean, and we've had so far, even the first elimination, all 3 eliminations have been, and granted, this one kind of ended quickly for Gabe, but have been endurance based. Like, you need stamina to win in these eliminations so far, almost every single one. And that's leading me to think that we're not going to get like a little tiny puzzle in any of these eliminations. I think every elimination this season is designed and built and I could be wrong, but it feels like it's designed and built of how much grit do you got? How much heart do you got? Can we make a new threat stand out because they went toe to toe with Theo or Derek K for 30 minutes? Like, so that's it. That's what it feels like. Like every elimination so far has been, okay, not only do you got to be strong, can you outlast this other person? And we've seen time and time again, that's what makes people stand out. I mean, one of the greatest eliminations of all time is pole wrestle in Duel 1, Wes versus Derek, because it went on and on and on and reset. Another one, Joss versus Derek, because it went on. And eventually you're like, who's gonna break? Who's gonna break?
Great watches. Now, here's the funny thing is, I got a little bit of free agent vibes from some of the eliminations because I don't remember the name of it, but there was one, and Cara and Nia had a great elimination, but they were pretty much had a bungee cord tied back to back, and they pretty much had to do the same thing. This was very similar, only they added the wall and you had to hold it with a rope. I think if this was like the free agents elimination where they were tied back to back. Looper, yes. I think we still get the same result. But that and knowing that we're going to get Oppenheimer too, that makes 2 eliminations from free agents. And in reality, the arena vibe is kind of similar.
Yeah, it is have that. And I mean, I like that it's a little bit darker and it's maybe a little bit harder to see if you're a spectator. I do like that. I don't know, I'm 2 ways. Because we've had so many eliminations throughout the years where people are vocally helping, and it benefits that person so much that they eliminate somebody else. And while I would prefer teams to just compete and nobody to talk, we have all this history that has already impacted and changed outcomes of seasons because people have been helping and assisting. I mean, Turbo goes home in Ride or Dies against Horacio and Olivia because the house was 100% helping those two. If the house doesn't help, does Turbo win that? And Horacio and Olivia really don't come back season after season because they stand out, so it's interesting. I think this was a great result for new threats. It's a great result for production if you're wanting to establish new stars. It's a downfall, love him or hate him, for Bananas being gone and the entertainment factor. Because, I mean, think about it. Every episode has been so focused around Bananas. And if you know he's going home in episode 4, why are we not putting more focus on other layers of the house?
I agree with you 100%. And the funny thing is, from what I'm hearing, there are plenty of layers to deal with, and we're just not seeing them. Now, going back to Bananas, it's been a while since we've seen actually Bananas lose in the elimination. The last one was War of the Worlds 2 against Theo.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, which he avenged because his last win was last season against Theo, right? And then Ryan before that.
So yeah, that's right. So he won a couple eliminations on Ford because he made finals. So if you look at his last couple seasons, USA 2, Battle of the Eras, he Ride or Dies, he made finals, Total Madness. So it probably actually. What about World Championships? Did he?
Yes, no. Challenge USA. He beat Paulie.
No, in USA too, but I'm saying World Champion, global, the World Championship. I don't think he made the final.
I don't think he won the elimination.
Yeah, he did. They went home episode 7, so that would be the last time he lost to Jordan in the elimination. It was that barrel challenge.
That's right.
Yeah, but still, we're talking about a show that was May of 2023, March to May of 2023. So we are talking over 2 full years since he hasn't made it to the end of the game. Which is it's crazy that impressive streak has happened of like 3 or 4 consecutive shows of making more finals.
Right. But when it comes to his individual eliminations, his last 4 have all been wins. And these people are not to be slept on. Out of the last 5, He's lost against Theo and won against Theo. He beat Ryan, who showed he's able to compete. Paulie, who is a badass, we love Paulie, but right now his mouth might be better than his performance lately. And Wes.
Yeah, he beat Wes in Total Madness. Yep.
That's right. So he still has it. This just was one that isn't for him. Now, let's go ahead and get into the new teams. Ben and Olivia, Jake and Michaela, Sydney CT, Adrian Turbo, Jeremy and Ashley, Leroy and America, Tay and Theo, Will Aviv, Anissa and Cedric, Dee and Derek, Derek and Izzy, Leo and Cara, Nani and Justin.
Do you want to know an interesting, before we talk about too much about the teams, interesting with this point thing. So on female elimination days, CT doesn't finish in the top 8, but on male elimination days, CT has finished 3rd and 2nd. It is kind of interesting. I'm not saying it's on purpose, but he has a little bit more in the tank for male elimination days, is what I'm noticing. Because it is
that sounds like
0,
peak
6,
strategy
0,
to me.
7. I think it is too, because then you can kind of, I'll give 70%. I'll give 100. Like, you're not gassing, you're pacing. Team wise, honestly, there's not even like people that I'm like, I don't know if I hate to do this, but right now, America feels like the bottom for the girls. And so I don't know why she's getting picked before other people. Like, I don't understand why Leka was at the end. That doesn't make,
100%.
Doesn't make any sense for me. Like, you just had an endurance base and like a puzzle. I think your next daily is going to be a little more physical. You want that strong partner. So, and I'm not dogging on America, but I'm just saying in comparison, if you could pick America or Leka as a partner in a daily, I'm going to pick Leka. That's just me.
Speaking of Leka, Gabe and Leka, a first team of new threats. Is this fair?
I mean, that's the problem with the format of the show, right? This is why I believe they should have just it should be teams going into elimination, because then you always have a vet and a new threat together, no matter what. But
100%.
we've seen 3 vets go home and only 1 new threat. So naturally we were going to be in this position. I mean, we're going to see what happens. It could put a bigger target on their back where every vet just goes, let's just put Leka in. Like, there's no harm to it. You guys that are on your teams, it doesn't affect. And every other team their vet could just override that. And when you think about it also, Leka's not in with like Olivia and Theo, who are vets on the other side. So they might go along with it. And so, I mean, if you're Michaela right now and you're Ashley and you're Nani and you're Cara, I look at that and go, Leka's a physical threat. If I had to see her and if it's pole wrestle, I don't want to go against her potentially. Maybe Cara will, but I'd want to avoid that if it's a hall brawl, Oppenheimer against her. So if I can throw her in against another rookie, like maybe, I don't even know, maybe Tay gets last place and it's like, okay, let's throw Leka in, you know, and then you don't have to worry about it. And then you vet girls stay, the vet guys can back the vet girls. It might be an easy vote in next episode.
All right. Before we get out of here, where's your power rankings?
There's been some movement, but
you think?
There's been movement up and down. However, there's only 1 new name in this week, just because some of the people that are in the top 5 stay in the top 5. The only reason there's a new name is because Bananas went home and he falls all the way from number 2. So at number 5, I have Turbo. Turbo's getting more positive screen time. Turbo's getting great confessionals. Turbo is a desired partner by all the females on the new threats. Like, everybody wants to partner with Turbo. That's telling me something, that his role in this game is actually in a positive spot, that these rookies want to work with him, but he has all these vets who have his back as well. Interesting. He's been performing all right. He has 13 points. He's done well. Jeremy comes in at 4. He stays in his spot. He's been in this spot since week 2. Has not changed. Constant performer. His core group of strong women alliance is still there. There's now another male vet gone. So it's like he's in a good spot. And he's desired as a partner for everybody. Justin falls down to 3. I couldn't justify taking him out completely because I mean, he still has 16 points. He's still like top 5 for everybody in points. And he's been performing well this last episode. It's almost like he kind of, like it was riskless for him. It wasn't, but he doesn't seem like a name that people are going to call anymore.
Well, liked in the house.
Yeah, he seems pretty safe. And just so you know, Ben was at 6, just because getting that win, a lot of screen time. Just for me, his confessionals seem really scripted, and they seem really like written out and like programmed. They kind of remind me of like Evan's old, like.
Well, he's a commentator.
I get it, but it feels like he prepares before he goes in. You know, we used to hear like that people would say like Evan would write down what he's going to say before he went in, so he'd sound funny or sound what it feels.
He's
not
too
as,
media trained.
Yeah,
what it is.
Michaela moved up to number 2. You know, she sent somebody in as a nomination. They didn't even get a single vote on him. She can salvage that relationship. And then also she's been performing well. I think she's finished top 8 in all 4 dailies. So she has a 5th place finish, a 7th place finish, a 2nd place finish, and a 1st place finish. So every single daily she's performing.
I really love the way how she used power by not using power. She knew that having power right now was going to be a liability, and going with the grain was going to get her further in the game. That's smart.
And it's okay to take your feet off the gas. And then Olivia is number 1. I mean, her goal was to come on the show, dominate the show, win the show. And her secondary goal was to make sure Bananas did not. And that goal's already accomplished. So now she's also, on top of that, she's leading. She has been a top 4 finisher every week. She's got 4th place, 2nd place, 1st place, 3rd place.
Yeah. Olivia with the dark hair is not fucking around this season, and we'd love to see it. But anything else we got to touch on before we go ahead and get out of here?
Honestly, I mean, Banana's going to be missed. It is going to be interesting to see him now that he's not on the show, the way he can talk about everybody else on his podcast, because he brings on weekly guests and everything from every season that's on. It's going to be interesting to see, okay, whenever your leader is gone, and I know they kind of voted him in, which I don't know if you caught that, where like D was like, we got to protect Bananas, but then like you voted him last week, which the fact that happened makes the theory of Bananas already knew Nia was going home stand out a little bit more. But how does Leroy, how does D work? How does Nani work? Who does Olivia target? Who does Cara target? Is CT going to be a bigger threat to look at? Because now the 7-time champ's out. Let's go after the 5-time champ. You know, it's going to be interesting.
You know, in a perfect world, I would love to see Cara Maria step into that leadership role and say, hey, I'm gonna move this alliance forward. She has been known to put together some pretty fearsome alliances. And so we know she can do it. But I don't know, man. It doesn't really seem like she's very... One of my favorite things, I said this before, about Cara Maria, is she always comes so prepared. And she treats the challenge like a job. And this season, she's very unserious. I'm glad because it looks like she's having fun and not super stressed out, which is nice to see. But this is also the challenge. Getting stressed out is going to be part of the job. So we'll see how we'll see how those guys do.
I don't know. I am not on the Cara train recently.
I am not on the Cara train right
Personal
now
preferences. It makes it like you want to root for her because of who she is, and like who she is in the challenge. And then you don't want
it's hard to separate.
But it is so hard to separate. And I'm not going to lie. If she goes home, I'll be okay with it.
Listen, when she goes, come on. The way she's playing this season, she's not going to trip and stumble into a final. When she goes home, there's not going to be much of an uproar. I just hope she can give us one hell of an elimination. But with that said, that's all for us. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love, War, Challenges. Peace.